Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and I have a kind of special mid-month video for you. So normally I only do sign predictions for each month, but every time one of the big planets moves signs, I do predictions for that. So with that being said, Jupiter is getting ready to transit into Sidereal Aries on April 21st, 2023. So that is right around the corner. As many of you know, if you follow me on Instagram, which you should, and you should also like and follow me here so that you get more videos when I do them. We had a solar eclipse, early hours, April 20th. For some, it was late hours, April 19th, but for most, it was April 20th. We had a hybrid solar eclipse. This brings change. The house that solar eclipse was in is going to be the one that you're going to be focusing on. If you have natal planets that were conjunct the degree of the solar eclipse, or the house in the house opposite the solar eclipse, it was in Sidereal Aries. So opposite that would be Sidereal Libra. If you have planets at 5 degrees Aries, those are really going to be the planets to watch over the next 6 months. That being said, this video is not about the solar eclipse. This video is about Jupiter transiting into Aries. It will transit in there on April 21st. It will be in Aries until May 1st of 2024. Now, one thing I want you to think about is the last time that Jupiter was in Sidereal Aries was between mid-May 2011 and mid-May 2012. So think back to your life. What was going on? If you're too young to really be like, hey, there was not a lot going on, I was in school, it was school, that's fine. But just know, if you've already experienced a few rounds of Jupiter goes around the zodiac once, takes 12 years to get around. So about 12 years ago, it was in Aries. What was happening in your life 12 years ago? What was going on? How was it? What were you feeling? That's a little bit of what you can expect over the next 12 months. Now, that being said, last time Jupiter was in Aries, it was not conjunct as many planets as it is this time. This time, it's got a lot going on because the node of the moon Rahu is also transiting in Sidereal Aries right now, as well as Uranus is transiting in Aries right now. So the other thing with Jupiter in Aries is it is going to be receiving energy from Saturn, which is in Sidereal Aquarius. That's one of the aspects that we look at in Vedic astrology. And Saturn and Jupiter, when they come together in this, like their energy comes together in a house, it becomes a point of manifestation. And one of the really cool things is Jupiter gives the opportunities and the optimism, and Saturn brings the hard work and is like, put in that discipline, put in that hard work, and between the two, you can do whatever you set your mind to. Now, the other thing is with that point of manifestation in Aries, it's also going to be happening with the way the planets are laid out for the sign of Leo as well. So whatever house Aries and Leo rules is a point to really focus where you can have a lot manifesting. For those that don't know, for those that are newer, for those that are not astrologers, which I think is a fair number of you, which is great. We love having you here. Thank you for watching. Jupiter is considered the great benefic in the sky. Now, that's not saying Jupiter doesn't bring some negative stuff with it, but it is considered the great benefic in the sky. Jupiter itself is an indicator of children, expansion, fortune, confidence, and progress. It's considered a teacher and counselor. Jupiter is the planet of banks, capitalism, religion, politics, ideologies and beliefs, publishing, and knowledge. Now, we're going to be mixing that with the sign of Aries. Aries itself is the sign that rules politics. It rules the armed forces, police, wars, energy, fires, disasters, accidents, rebellions, and surgery, among others. One of the things is Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. The good news is Mars and Jupiter are very friendly with each other. Jupiter and Aries anything can go any way. We see this in the natal charts. Anything can go either way. You can live on the positive side of the planet or the negative side of the planet. That goes for the world. It can be on the positive side of the planet or the negative side of the planet. So on the positive side, Jupiter and Aries can be a time of drive. It can be a time of competition. It can be, a very purpose-driven time, a very high energy time, working to move full speed ahead is really one of the big things with Jupiter. This can be a period, Aries is a very technologically fast moving sign, so it can be a period of technological advancement. So keep an eye on there over the next year and keep an eye on technology and see how far it continues to push the limits and boundaries. We're already seeing a lot of that going on right now. Expect to see more. One of the things is we're likely going to see, inventions that we can't even begin to imagine. Well, obviously, there are going to be some people that can imagine them because that's how they're going to come to reality. But most of us will not. It's stuff that we can't even imagine. On that flip side, Jupiter and Aries can be a time when individuals become too extravagant. They get more aggressive. They become more self-righteous because of Jupiter ruling beliefs and ideologies. So people are going to try to stick more to their sides and prove their point. And you're really going to need to work on listening. One of the things is going to be really listening and being open and hearing other sides. And yes, your beliefs are important, but so is somebody else's beliefs. You're both allowed to have your beliefs, and you can agree to disagree, and that's okay. So there will be a need over the next year that you remain firmly grounded. Keep an eye on the reality, as some may become more unrealistic in their expectations, or, get a little less grounded. So whether it's meditation or whatever you use to ground yourself, even putting your feet in the grass, go outside, get grounded, put your bare feet in the grass. As mentioned, whatever sign Aries rules for you is really going to show that area that you need to be most aware of, and that will be the focus. Because part of this, again, with the eclipse, you've got Jupiter entering, you have Mercury retrograde is the same day Jupiter enters, and that's in Sidereal Aries. You've got the node of the moon Rahu still transiting there until November 28th of 2023. You have Uranus there for the duration of 2023 into 2024 before it changes signs. So there's a lot of energy happening in Aries, especially the next couple months. Jupiter, one of the planets, it's very expensive energy. It has the potential to expand everything that Aries represents. It can indicate, more potential rebellions. It could indicate an increase in natural disasters, or natural disasters that cause massive damage. Easy for me to say. You can see that Mercury slowing down a little bit. But think back to 2011, 2012. What happened then? One of the biggest hurricanes that caused so much damage was Hurricane Sandy. That happened during Jupiter in Aries. Now, it's also with Rahu, which is also expansive. So the last time Jupiter and Rahu were together, this is never to scare you. This is just to give you the heads up, to keep an eye on things, to help, make it so it's not as scary. It's kind of that hey, just keep an eye. Maybe make decisions based off of this differently, in terms of maybe I shouldn't go spend all this money right now. Maybe I should do something else with it. Anyways, this is not to scare you. But the last time Rahu and Aries were conjunct in Jupiter and Rahu were conjunct in Aries was actually April and May of 1929. We all know what happened in October of 1929. Should sound pretty familiar for those of us in the United States. Again, not to scare you, but we can see higher inflation. We can see, economic downturns. So just keep an eye, be aware, it's coming. I even see economists that I follow saying it's coming. So it's not just on the astrology side, it's coming from all directions that they're saying it could be potential. And again, it's just a forewarning. Knowledge is power. Uranus is also going to be conjunct Jupiter, because Uranus is also in Aries right now, in Sidereal Aries. And this is very much a time where, expect the unexpected. Anything with Uranus, expect the unexpected. So Uranus can bring the unexpected. I would say that, we're likely to see changes that maybe we only believe could happen in our wildest dreams, and really just keep an eye on that. So with this Mercury retrograde as well on April 21st, watch your communication. Watch your driving. Be more aware of other people's driving, because there's so much Mars energy right now, because Mercury and Mars are in what's called Parivartana Yoga. And if you get my newsletter, you know this. If you don't, you should sign up below. It makes Mars acting as if it's in its own sign right now. So the planets are there's so many planets using Mars energy right now. People can be more aggressive. They can be more driven. They can be more accident prone. They can drive a little crazier. So just really be aware, leave more time to get places. If you're flying, just know there could be issues. We're already seeing another Mercury retrograde came along. It's the same fire family. It was in Sagittarius in December when we had the whole Southwest snafu. And I just saw an article this morning that Southwest had issues again yesterday. So don't think this Mercury retrograde isn't going to cause a little havoc up there with technology in the skies and delays on airplanes, and just delays in general on transportation. But communication, be clear, check for understanding, all those good Mercury retrograde things. Now, I know what you really want. You're like, Elizabeth, this is all great. Obviously, the mundane's great, but what does it mean for me? As always, if you've been around, if you've watched my videos, I always say check your ascendant sign and your moon sign. Remember, the moon is how you think. If you don't know your ascendant and you know your moon, look at your moon. If you don't have a time of birth, the moon is the way that we read the charts if you don't have a time of birth. So that's an excellent one to use to really understand what could potentially be going on this next year, what you could see over the next year. So honestly, if you know your ascendant and moon, I'd read both. It gives you a true flavor of what Jupiter's transit in Aries will mean for you. And really, that's what, is interesting. So, Aries, this can be a time of optimism with a feeling of overall comfort. Your confidence will be on the upswing. So, you're going to have more confidence, more going on. It's a time to prepare for a new opportunity. You have a chance to move up in the world. So, allow yourself to grow in wisdom. One of the things for you, Aries, be cautious not to become too optimistic that you miss red flags or ignore them or neglect your responsibilities. Be sure to act sooner rather than later on opportunities. Otherwise, they could pass you by. For you, Jupiter is going to be in your first house. It's very empowered in the first house, and it does indicate a time of new beginning, new beginnings, new projects. But it's also going to be really important that you maintain eating healthy, and exercise, because Jupiter is expansive in your first house. It could expand your weight. So just be aware, just know. But if you keep maintaining that healthy diet and exercise, you should be good. Taurus, this is a year that will be all about endings and closure for you. It could be an end to your career, as in retirement, or it could be bringing closure to old emotions or beliefs that are no longer serving your highest and greatest good. This is not a time to begin a new business. If you're like, I want to begin a new business, I wouldn't recommend it over the next year. Put on your patience pants, because it's not the dream to begin it this year. For you, memories from your past will give you a gift of self-discovery and help you heal unresolved wounds. This is the year for you to prepare for brand new beginnings in the following year. So May 1st, 2024, when Jupiter moves into your first house, you're really going to have that chance of new opportunities, new beginnings. So really just use this year to heal. Very much for you, the expression this year is when one door closes, another door opens. So just be patient, go with the flow, work through anything you haven't worked through. And really, it's going to be beneficial for you to spend quiet time with yourself to truly contemplate and refresh. Gemini, you should find that your cash flow is better over the next year. It's an excellent time to really do things that are going to expand your mind, your spirituality, and your consciousness. If you don't meditate, it can be a great time to start meditating. You could really see great gains from your career or large lump sums of money coming in. And this will only come from hard work, effort, and your talents. So be sure that, you do this. This is not a time to loan money to friends and family unless you're in no hurry to get it done. Really be sure to pay attention to your budget this year, as there could be some overindulging or not paying attention to your finances. Cancer, put yourself out there and get others to take interest in you. This is a period when you can see real career success. It may be in the form of promotions, recognition, advancement, or even just congratulations from your bosses that you are on their radar, and, keep that up. If you are an entrepreneur this year, you will see the expansion of your business and prosperity. So get out, network to help build your reputation. But one of the keys for you is be sure that you're keeping your responsibilities so that your reputation doesn't take a turn in the wrong direction. Really be sure to keep yourself busy and avoid the doldrums, as this can really, be a hindrance for you. It's going to hold you back. It's not going to be beneficial. So don't get bored. Leo, you are in for a lucky year. This is one of Jupiter's best transits for you. You will find more fortune and spiritual knowledge. Travel will be more enjoyable for you. It can be a really good time to ask for a raise you have wanted or to work on expanding your fortunes. I will say the one caveat is if you sense that it's not the right time to ask, don't just ask because you're in a good transit. It will not always work in your favor, but there is a high probability that you can do it and get that raise this year if you're looking for it. However, the other thing is also it's important not to get lazy or overspend out of optimism. So really make sure you keep a budget, stick to your budget, pay attention to your budget. Looking at the spiritual side of things, it can really bring you more inner confidence this year and really lead you on a positive track. Virgo, over the next year, it's going to be really important to work on those things that give you the most support. Using common sense will help you accomplish that checklist you put together. So put a checklist together if you haven't. You could have a monetary windfall, whether it be from an inheritance, marriage, insurance, divorce, or property. During this time, it will be beneficial for you to build up your spiritual reserves. So really take that time, ground yourself, meditate, um, sit in the quiet with yourself. It's also a really good year to expand your health. Make sure you're getting the nutrients and exercise your body needs to stay happy and healthy. Be sure that you stick to your budget this year and really know this is not the best time to make big commitments. So take the year and see what happens. And then once Jupiter exits your eighth house, which is where it's transiting this year on May 1st, 2024, then you can start making some bigger decisions and bigger commitments. Libra, this is a good year to form new partnerships, business or marriage. Be sure you are keeping your commitments with your partner. Relationships will blossom and you will find that agreements and expectations are met. Growth at work and in your career are able to be more successful by learning more about your business. So really dig deep, get into that knowledge. Some travel for work is good, and it can be good, if possible, for your partner to join you on these trips. Remember, for you, one of the big words this over this next year is diplomacy. Diplomacy will win. So hear others out and work to understand things from their perspective. And remember to show others your gratitude. Scorpio, if you thought you were in for a slow year, you're not. Let me just say that. Guess again, because it's not happening. It's not going to be a slow year. Jupiter is transiting your house of work and it will produce more opportunities and work as it moves through this. I've seen this consistently with my clients and in my own life when Jupiter went through the sixth house. You will find you get more support from coworkers or employees, and that a good work environment can bring success over this next year. It can be a good time to apply for a job if you're looking at a new job, or even hire new employees if you're an entrepreneur or a boss and you need new employees. It can be a great time to hire them. One of the things is this house is also the house of health that Jupiter's transiting through for you. So be sure to eat healthy, get out and exercise and achieve your health goals. If you have been considering adding a new furry family member, now can be a great time to bring them home. And it is also a good time to really repair any broken business or personal relationships that you want to fix moving into the future. Sagittarius, this is a year when new ideas will swoop in and help you expand your life and your business, and or both, or one or the other, you pick. Get out, discover new things, go to the theater, movies, sporting events, etc., to help relieve some stress. You could find that there's a new birth in the family, or your children could get awards or have other accomplishments. Make sure that romance is a part of your year, whether you're bringing the romance back into your marriage or just starting a new relationship. It is really important to think through your decisions during this time and looking at the pros and cons and doing your research and due diligence. One of the things this year, you could see doors open that introduce you to new places or new people. Be open to it. See where it takes you. Enjoy it, but do that. Capricorn, now is the year to upgrade your skills, start a new training program, or enter a degree program. This is a year you may see yourself buying a new home, a new car, or you may be drawn to make your current home more comfortable. It's not always about moving. Be sure, if any issues do arise, that you fix them immediately. Don't delay, or you could find they become bigger issues that you don't want to deal with, but you're going to have to. So fix them when you see them. Be sure you don't dwell on negative emotions and that you spend time building relationships with your family, celebrate birthdays and holidays, and bring that fun and gratification within. For you, Capricorn, one of the things, insurance will give your home and car the protection it needs. So make sure you have those policies up to date and you don't let them lapse. Aquarius, your ability to reach people this next year will be at all new levels. Communication is the key. Travel for both work and pleasure will help you unlock new information that'll help you really expand your level of expertise, taking you to a whole new level. You're going to find that creativity is at its peak and curiosity will create a fresh outlook for you. If there are any classes that you've been like, hey, I really want to take that, or like, you've been putting it off, now is the time to take it. This is a really great time to expand your knowledge as well as to learn by observing others. So be open to opportunities and take them as they come. Also, be open to opportunities with mass communication, which includes either the internet or television or radio or anything like that. But one of the keys, really take that time. Let your creative side shine, whether it's through writing, acting, speaking, dancing, playing an instrument. Let that creative side out. It can be as much as in your kitchen or at home. It doesn't have to be on a stage anywhere, but let it out. Get creative. For you, your communication skills are sharp now, but be sure to double check anything you put in writing. Pisces, this is a time of financial gain for you. Opportunities arise to acquire more income and expand your business over this next year. Your voice is important this next year, so speak your truth. There could be opportunities to speak or give lectures. You never know what's going to come, but also study new subjects. One of the things you'll find is that teaching can be really well received during this time. It could be mentoring, people that work under you. It could be mentoring someone in a different company. It could be truly teaching a course, doing something like that. There's all sorts of possibilities when it comes to teaching. It is not just the narrow theory that some think of teaching. This is an excellent year as well for you to take control of your diet and work on your speech. One of the things to be cautious of, though, is that, really watch your overspending. Keep a budget, stick to it. Don't overspend on unnecessary or extravagant things, and really be sure for you that you stay true to your word. So don't make promises you can't keep. If you promise to do something with someone and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't really want to do that, do not break it unless you give ample notice, but really keep your promises. It's going to benefit you so much more. That is Jupiter in Aries. There's a lot. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, but keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on what can happen for you. And if you really want to know the personal impact of transits, the best way to do that is to book a natal consultation with me at elizabethweimiller.com. If you've already had a consultation with me in the past, go ahead and book that yearly update. It's about time, and really see what's going on. So again, keep an eye. I think Jupiter in Aries, it's gonna, as with any transit, there's gonna be the really good, there could be some downsides, but it's all gonna be how it plays out for you. So with that being said, stay tuned. In a few, November, we're gonna have Rahu and Ketu switching signs as a heads up. Also, again, eclipse. We're just having an eclipse, April 20th. See how that impacts you. But for Jupiter and Aries, keep an eye on it, refer back to this, save it, share it, and I will see you next time.